The mining ship Prospector drifted through the empty space between stars. It was an old vessel, built for work not speed, and its hull was marked with dents and patches from years of service. Inside, Captain Jack stared at the radar screen with tired eyes. "Nothing again," he muttered, running a hand through his graying hair. 3 weeks out here, and not even a decent rock to mine. The small crew of the Prospector knew the feeling well. There were only 4 of them. Jack, Anna, the navigator, Tom the engineer, and Mike the technician. All of them had been hoping for a big find on this trip. They needed the bonus money from a good haul. Anna looked up from her station. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange at the edge of our scan range." "It's big." "Asteroid?" Jack asked, sitting up straighter. "No." Anna's fingers moved across her control panel. "It's metal, and it's drifting." Tom joined them, wiping grease from his hands with an old rag. "Could be an old satellite or space junk." "Too big," Anna said. "Much too big." Jack made his decision quickly. "Change course. Let's take a look." The Prospector turned slowly, its engines pushing it toward the mysterious object. As they got closer, the ship's lights revealed something that made the entire crew fall silent. It was a warship, a massive one. Its dark hull stretched over 1 kilometer long, covered in thick armor plates. Though parts of it showed damage from old battles, its shape was unmistakable to anyone who had studied human history. "That's impossible," Mike whispered, joining the others at the main window. "That looks like the HSS Invincible," Jack finished, his voice filled with awe. "I had models of it as a kid." The Invincible was famous, or rather, infamous. It was the first and most powerful dreadnought-class warship humanity had ever built, created 300 years ago during humanity's first interstellar war. According to every history book, it had been destroyed in a heroic last stand, allowing thousands of colonists to escape an enemy attack. Yet here it was, somehow preserved in the emptiness of deep space. "How did it get here?" Tom asked. "We're nowhere near any battle sites from the old war." Jack shook his head. "No idea. But we need to check it out." "Captain," Anna said carefully, "regulations say we should report this to Fleet Command and wait for a proper recovery team." Jack looked at her, then back at the massive warship. "You know how long that would take. Weeks, maybe months. And by then, someone else might find it." He smiled. "Besides, aren't you curious?" Anna couldn't hide her own excitement. None of them could. The Invincible wasn't just any warship, it was a legend. 2 hours later, they had matched speed with the drifting giant and prepared to board. They all wore spacesuits as they crossed from their small mining vessel to a side airlock on the ancient warship. "Atmosphere readings are 0, Mike reported as they reached the outer hull. "The ship's been vented." Tom worked on the manual override for the airlock. These old military ships had backup systems for everything. Should still work even without power. With a groan of metal that they felt through their boots, the outer door slid open. Their flashlights showed a small chamber beyond, the emergency airlock. Once inside the ship, they moved slowly down dark corridors. Their lights revealed a ship that looked frozen in time. There was damage. Panels torn open, signs of fire, and even what looked like weapon impacts, but no bodies. "They must have evacuated," Anna said. Jack nodded. "The history books say the ship was lost with all hands. Clearly, that's not the whole story. They found their way to what had to be the bridge." Unlike the sleek, minimalist designs of modern ships, the Invincible's command center was massive and built like a fortress. Heavy chairs were bolted to the floor in front of control stations with physical buttons and switches rather than the holographic interfaces they were used to. Tom whistled. They really built things to last back then. In the center of the bridge, Jack's light fell on something unexpected. A simple metal pedestal with a dark glass sphere on top. "Is that?" Mike stepped closer. "It's an AI core," Jack confirmed. "An old one." Anna looked nervous. "Should we really be messing with this?" Military A's from that era were different. They weren't just assistants. They were weapons. Jack considered her words, but curiosity won out. Tom, can you get any power to this thing? The engineer examined the bridge systems. Main reactors are cold, but there seem to be emergency batteries. Might have enough juice for a quick boot sequence. It took Tom 30 minutes to rig a connection. When he finally connected the last wire, the dark sphere remained unchanged. Maybe it's too damaged, Mike suggested. Then, slowly, a faint blue glow began to emanate from the sphere. It pulsed like a heartbeat, growing stronger with each beat. A deep, resonant voice filled the bridge, speaking slowly as if waking from a long sleep. System. Reboot. Initiated. I-Core. Functional. I am. Thunder. Tactical. Intelligence. Of HS. Invincible. The four humans stared in amazement as the blue light stabilized. Scanning. 4 human life signs detected. No active crew signatures found. Query. What is the current date? Jack cleared his throat. It's March 15, 2487. There was a pause. Processing. 308 years since my last active status. Significant time discrepancy noted. The AI's voice became stronger, more confident. I need more information. Who are you, and how did you find this vessel? Jack explained who they were and how they had discovered the ship. As he spoke, more systems on the bridge began to activate, old screens flickering to life, showing ship diagrams and status reports. So the war is over? Thunder asked. Yes, Jack replied. For centuries now. The AI seemed to consider this. Then my final mission parameters are complete. The colony ships must have reached safety. They did. Anna confirmed. Thanks to the Invincible's sacrifice, every schoolchild learns about how this ship held off the enemy fleet until the evacuees escaped. Yet here we are, Thunder observed. Not destroyed, merely lost. Tom had been examining the readouts on one of the newly activated screens. According to this, the ship jumped to random coordinates after taking critical damage. The emergency protocols put everything into stasis to preserve what was left. Jack was about to ask another question when a different alarm began to sound. A red light pulsed on one of the bridge consoles. Thunder's voice became urgent. Proximity alert. Multiple ships entering the system. Energy signatures do not match human vessels. Anna rushed to one of the sensor stations. He's right. Ships coming in fast. 17 of them. And they're big. Can we be seen? Jack asked. Not yet, Thunder answered. But soon, and I regret to inform you that based on their flight pattern, they are Krell vessels. The 4 humans exchanged worried glances. The Krell were a relatively new threat to human space. Aggressive aliens who had been pushing into border systems for years. We need to warn the colonies, Jack said. Our mining ship can't outrun them. No, agreed Thunder. But the Invincible might. They all looked around at the damaged warship. Can this thing still fly? Mike asked doubtfully. There is only one way to find out, Thunder replied, as more systems throughout the massive vessel began to power up. I suggest we try. Quickly, can you really get this ship moving again? Jack asked, looking around at the dim bridge of the ancient warship. Thunder's blue sphere pulsed as the AI answered, It will not be easy. The Invincible has been dormant for 3 centuries. Many systems are damaged. Tom was already examining the engine readouts. The main reactors are cold, but they're intact. If we can start them up. I can guide you, Thunder said. But I will need all of you to help. This ship was designed for a crew of 500. Jack nodded firmly. Tell us what to do. The AI assigned tasks quickly. Jack would remain on the bridge with Thunder, learning the ship's capabilities. Anna would work on navigation systems, trying to plot a course away from the approaching Krell. Tom and Mike would head to the engine room to restart the massive power cores. As Tom and Mike made their way through the dark corridors, Tom whistled softly. This ship is enormous. Makes our mining vessel look like a toy. Did you see the size of those weapon bays we passed? Mike added. The history books weren't exaggerating. This thing was built to destroy fleets. The engine room was a cathedral of machinery. Huge fusion reactors sat silent, connected to massive drive systems, unlike anything the miners had ever seen. These engines aren't like modern ones, Tom said as he examined the control panels. They're overbuilt, not efficient, just incredibly powerful. Back on the bridge, Jack was getting a crash course in the ship's combat capabilities. The Invincible was an experimental vessel, Thunder explained as schematics appeared on the main screen. It carried weapons that were never used again after the war. Why not? Jack asked, studying the diagrams with growing amazement. They were deemed too destructive. The gravitational disruptors could tear apart space itself. The matter-antimatter torpedoes could destroy small moons. Even the main guns fired projectiles at such speeds that they violated several treaties. Jack stared at the weapons list. And you have all these? Had, Thunder corrected. Many systems are damaged. I estimate we can reach perhaps 40% of original combat capacity, and that's if your friends can restore full power. In the navigation section, Anna was having her own discoveries. These star charts are ancient, she told Thunder through the comm system. The galaxy has changed in 300 years. Stars have moved. My stellar navigation database can be updated from your mining vessel's computers, Thunder replied. Can you establish a data link? Anna nodded, her fingers moving quickly over the old control panels. Working on it. In the engine room, Tom wiped sweat from his forehead as he and Mike worked to restart the ancient fusion reactors. The startup sequence is different from anything I've seen, Tom complained. It's like they wanted raw power with no safeties. Different times, Mike replied, connecting bypass circuits. This ship was built when humanity was fighting for survival. They weren't worried about efficiency ratings. A warning alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Jack's voice came over the comm system. Whatever you're doing, do it faster. The Krell ships are spreading out. They'll detect us soon. Tom looked at Mike. We need to try a cold start. It's risky, but do it, Mike agreed. Tom initiated the sequence, and for a moment nothing happened. Then the deck beneath them began to vibrate. A low hum built quickly into a roar as one of the massive reactors came to life. We've got one, Tom shouted into his comm. One reactor online. Throughout the ship, systems began powering up. Lights flickered on in corridors that had been dark for centuries. The bridge consoles lit up one by one as Thunder's sphere glowed brighter. Primary power restored, the AI announced. Beginning system check. Jack watched as status reports filled the screens. There was a lot of red, damaged systems, offline weapons, compromised hull sections, but the basics were working. They had power, life support, engines, and some weapons. What about the Krell? Anna asked as she returned to the bridge. Can they detect us now? Likely, Thunder confirmed. The power signature of a dreadnought is difficult to mask. Jack studied the tactical display, watching the alien ships spreading through the system. They're heading toward human space, toward New Terra colony. Millions of people live there. The Krell are conquerors, Thunder said. If they're moving in force, it's an invasion fleet. We need to warn New Terra, Anna insisted. Our mining ship's comm system doesn't have the range, Jack replied. And this ship. The Invincible's communication array was damaged in our final battle, Thunder explained. We cannot send long-range messages. Tom and Mike joined them on the bridge, their faces streaked with grease and sweat. We got one reactor at full power and a second one starting up, Tom reported. The engines can move us, but I wouldn't push them too hard yet. Jack looked at the tactical display again. The Krell ships were moving methodically, clearly searching. One was heading directly toward their position. We need to hide, Jack decided. There's an asteroid field at the edge of the system. If we can get there before they spot us. A vessel this size will be difficult to conceal, Thunder warned. "We don't have much choice," Jack replied. "We can't outrun them. We can't outfight 17 warships, and we can't call for help." Thunder's sphere pulsed in what almost seemed like agreement. "Very well. Setting course for the asteroid field." The ancient engines of the Invincible came to life, pushing the massive warship forward. The movement was slow at first, then steadier as systems long dormant remembered their purpose. "It's working," Mike exclaimed, watching the ship's speed increase. Anna wasn't celebrating yet. "One of the Krell ships is changing course. I think they've spotted us." "Thunder, what weapons do we have?" Jack asked urgently. "Point defense systems are operational. One main gun battery. No torpedoes yet." "Will it be enough to fight off one Krell ship?" The eye was silent for a moment. "Unknown. I have no data on Krell vessels. Their technology is new to me." Jack made a quick decision. "Let's not find out if we don't have to." Maximum speed toward the asteroid field. The Invincible surged forward, faster now, its frame groaning with the strain of movement after centuries of drifting. Behind them, the Krell ship adjusted course, clearly giving chase. "They're gaining on us," Anna reported, watching the tactical display. "We're still not at full power," Tom said. "I need to get back to engineering. We might be able to squeeze more out of the second reactor." As Tom rushed off, Jack turned to Thunder's glowing sphere. "This ship was the pride of the human fleet. Tell me it has some tricks we haven't tried yet." "There are options," Thunder replied, "but they come with risks. We're being chased by alien warships in a 300-year-old battleship with a crew of 4, Jack said dryly. "I think we're past worrying about risks." Thunder's sphere pulsed brighter. "Very well. I will show you what the Invincible can truly do." On the main screen, new schematics appeared, systems that weren't in any history book, weapons that had been classified and then forgotten. Mike stared at the display. "What is all this?" "The real reason," Thunder said, "why this ship was never supposed to come home." The asteroid field loomed ahead, a scattered maze of rocks ranging from car-sized to mountain-sized. The Invincible pushed forward, its ancient engines training as the massive warship approached the natural hiding place. "We're almost there," Jack said, gripping the edge of the command console. "Can we make it before the Krell ship gets in weapons range?" "Calculating," Thunder replied, his blue sphere pulsing with each word. "Yes, but with little margin for error." Anna studied the navigation screens. "There's a cluster of larger asteroids at coordinates 227 to 43. We could hide among them." "Adjusting course," Thunder confirmed. The Invincible moved deeper into the asteroid field, its bulk somehow graceful despite its size. The pursuing Krell ship slowed at the edge of the field, apparently unwilling to risk a chase through the dangerous obstacles. "They're holding position," Mike reported from the sensor station. "I think we lost them." Jack allowed himself a small smile. "Good. Now we have time to think." Tom returned to the bridge, wiping grease from his hands. "Second reactor is stable. We got about 60% of total power now. Not great, but better than before." "Thunder," Jack turned to the AI. "You were about to show us what this ship can really do." The main screen changed to show detailed schematics of the Invincible. Parts of the display were highlighted in red, indicating damaged sections, while others glowed green. The Invincible was not merely a warship, Thunder explained. It was a test platform for technologies considered too dangerous for widespread use. "Like what?" Anna asked. "Gravitational weapons capable of tearing ships apart from the inside. Matter-antimatter torpedoes with yields that could crack small moons. And most importantly, an adaptive armor system that becomes stronger with each hit it receives." Mike whistled. No wonder they wrote this ship into the history books. But why claim it was destroyed? Tom wondered. Why not recover it? "Politics," Thunder replied simply. "After the war, there were concerns about these technologies. Treaties were signed. Weapons of mass destruction were banned. The Invincible represented everything the post-war government wanted to forget. A sudden alarm interrupted their conversation. Anna rushed to the sensor station. "More Krell ships are entering the asteroid field," she reported. "They're searching in a grid pattern. And our mining ship is gone." "Gone?" Jack asked. "What do you mean gone?" "The prospector is no longer at the coordinates where we left it. The Krell must have found it." The implications hung in the air. If the Krell had found their mining vessel, they might have accessed its computer, which contained records of finding the ancient warship. "They know we're here," Jack said grimly. "They're looking for us specifically now." Thunder's sphere pulsed. "I am detecting Krell communications. They are coordinating their search efforts." "Can we translate?" Jack asked. "Working on it. Their language patterns are in my database from the final days of the war. We encountered them briefly before." The eye paused, as if accessing difficult memories. "Before your last battle?" Anna prompted gently. "Yes. The Krell were a minor species then, just beginning to explore space. They must have grown significantly in 3 centuries. On the tactical display, they could see the Krell ships spreading through the asteroid field. 17 warships, each larger than the prospector had been, though still smaller than the Invincible. "What are our options?" Jack asked. "We remain hidden and hope they miss us," Thunder suggested. "Or we attempt to escape the system. Or we fight," Jack finished. Thunder's sphere glowed brighter. "That would be inadvisable with our current operational status." Tom had been studying the tactical display. "Wait, look at their course. They're not just searching randomly. They're heading toward the jump point that leads to New Terra. It's an invasion force," Anna realized. "They're planning to attack the colony." The 4 humans exchanged worried glances. New Terra was home to millions of people, most of them civilians with minimal defenses. "We have to warn them," Mike insisted. "Our communications are still down," Thunder reminded them. "And even at maximum speed, we cannot reach New Terra before the Krell fleet." Jack paced the bridge, thinking hard. What if we don't need to reach New Terra? What if we just need to delay the Krell until a warning can be sent? "Explain," Thunder requested. "If we could get a message to the patrol ships at the edge of this system, they could relay it to New Terra." Jack looked at the others. "We just need to buy them time to prepare." "And how do we do that?" Anna asked. "We make ourselves a target the Krell can't ignore." Jack's face was determined now. "Thunder, what's the status of our weapon systems?" "Main gun batteries at 40% capacity. Point defense at 65%. No torpedoes available yet. Gravitational weapons, untested after reactivation. Is it enough to hurt them?" The AI calculated for a moment. "Unknown. I have no data on modern Krell ship capabilities." A proximity alarm suddenly blared. One of the Krell scout ships had ventured too close to their hiding spot. "They'll detect us any second," Anna warned. Jack made his decision. "Power up weapons. If they want a fight, we'll give them one." Thunder's sphere pulsed rapidly, powering weapon systems. "Alert. This will significantly increase our energy signature." "I'm counting on it," Jack said. "Let's give them something to chase that isn't headed toward New Terra." The scout ship was almost on top of them now. On the view screen, they could see it clearly for the first time. Sleek, with glowing blue energy patterns across its dark hull. It looked fast and dangerous. "Shall I fire when ready?" Thunder asked. "Wait," Jack ordered, watching the alien vessel. "Let them get a good look at us first. I want them to know exactly what they're dealing with." The Krell ship suddenly changed course, moving faster now, clearly having detected them. "They're powering up weapons," Mike reported. "Energy signatures increasing." "Now, Thunder," Jack commanded. "Show them what a real warship can do." The Invincible's main guns, dormant for centuries, came to life. Massive barrels extended from armored ports along the hull. The entire ship hummed with power as the weapons charged. "Target locked," Thunder announced. "Firing." The ancient guns fired. There was no beam of light, No energy pulse like modern weapons. Instead, solid metal projectiles accelerated to impossible speeds shot toward the Krell scout ship. On the view screen, they watched as the first shot hit the scout ship's blue energy shield. For a second, the shield flared brightly, trying to absorb the impact. Then, to everyone's surprise, the shield simply failed. The projectile tore through, ripping a hole straight through the alien vessel. The bridge crew stared in disbelief. "Direct hit," Thunder reported. "Krell vessel critically damaged." "How?" Anna began. "Their shields just failed." Thunder's sphere pulsed with what almost seemed like satisfaction. "Interesting. It appears modern shield technology is designed to stop energy weapons, not physical projectiles at relativistic speeds." "You mean?" Jack started. "I mean," Thunder replied, "that our very old weapons might be very effective against their very new defenses." Before they could celebrate this discovery, multiple alarms sounded. The damaged Krell ship had sent out a distress call. The rest of the fleet was now changing course, all heading straight for the Invincible. "We got their attention," Tom said dryly. Jack nodded, his face grim but determined. "That was the plan. Thunder, set course away from the New Terra jump point. Let's see if we can lead them on a chase." "And if they catch us?" Anna asked quietly. Jack looked at the tactical display, where 17 Krell warships were now moving toward their position. "Then we make our stand," he said simply, "and hope it's enough." The Invincible pushed through space, its ancient engines roaring as the massive warship fled from the pursuing Krell fleet. On the bridge, Jack watched the tactical display with growing concern. The Krell ships were faster, their modern engines allowing them to slowly close the gap. "They'll be in weapons range in 10 minutes, Anna reported from the navigation station. "All 17 of them." "Options?" Jack asked, looking at the glowing blue sphere that housed Thunder's consciousness. "We cannot outrun them," the eye replied. "And in our current condition, we cannot outfight their entire fleet in a direct engagement." Tom leaned over the engineering console. "What if we turned and fought just the lead ships? Thin their numbers." Thunder's sphere pulsed. "A possibility. Their approach is staggered. The first 3 vessels will reach us before the others." Jack nodded slowly. "We know our kinetic weapons can punch through their shields. If we can take out the lead ships, maybe the others will be more cautious. Or more aggressive," Anna pointed out. "Either way," Jack said, "we need to do something." "Thunder, what's the status of those special weapons you mentioned?" "The gravitational disruptors are at 30% capacity," Thunder reported. "Enough for perhaps 2 or 3 uses. The adaptive armor system is online but untested. Matter-antimatter torpedoes remain offline." Mike had been quiet, but now he spoke up. "What about our shuttle? Could we send a warning to New Terra that way?" Jack considered this. "How fast is the shuttle?" "Faster than this ship," Thunder confirmed. "But it would still need to reach the nearest communication relay, and it would be defenseless if intercepted." A plan began to form in Jack's mind. What if we turned and fought, creating a distraction? During the battle, we could launch the shuttle. In the chaos, it might slip past their lines. The others thought about this. It was risky, but it might be their only chance to warn New Terra. "I volunteer to pilot the shuttle," Anna said firmly. Jack shook his head. "I need you here for navigation. Mike can go." Mike nodded, accepting the mission. "I'll need all the data we have on the Krell fleet to take back." "Prepare the shuttle," Jack ordered. "Thunder, plot an intercept course for those lead Krell ships. It's time to see what this old warship can really do." The Invincible slowed, then turned to face the oncoming threat. The lead Krell vessels, detecting the change, adjusted their approach. "They're spreading out," Tom observed, "trying to flank us." "Target the center ship," Jack commanded. "Main guns, and whatever else we got." Thunder's sphere glowed brighter. Targeting systems locked. Weapons charge. Gravitational disruptors standing by. The Krell ships were visible on the main view screen now, sleek, dangerous vessels with blue energy patterns flowing across their dark hulls. They moved with precision, clearly coordinating their attack. "They're firing," Tom shouted. Brilliant beams of energy shot from the Krell ships, striking the Invincible's hull. The ancient warship shuddered under the impact. "Damage report," Jack called out. "Armor holding," Thunder reported. "The adaptive systems are responding." "Interesting. Their energy weapons are less effective than expected against our armor plating." "Our turn," Jack said grimly. "Fire everything." The Invincible's main guns roared to life, launching massive projectiles at the central Krell ship. At the same time, a strange distortion spread from the human warship, the gravitational disruptor activating. On the view screen, they watched as the central Krell vessel suddenly lurched sideways, caught in the gravitational wave. Its shields flared, trying to compensate, just as the kinetic projectile struck. The combination was devastating. The Krell ship's shields collapsed, and its hull cracked open like an egg. "Direct hit," Tom shouted with excitement. "One down." The remaining Krell ships adjusted quickly, changing formation and increasing speed. Their return fire intensified, dozens of energy beams converging on the Invincible. "Hull breach on Deck 12, Thunder reported as the ship shook violently. "Sealing emergency bulkheads." "The shuttle's ready," Mike called from the communication station. "I'm heading there now." Jack nodded. "Go. We'll keep them busy." As Mike left the bridge, Jack turned his attention back to the battle. "Thunder, can we use the gravitational weapon again?" "Charging. 30 seconds to ready." The Krell ships were circling now, firing continuously. The Invincible groaned under the assault, its ancient frame taking damage, but still holding together. "Return fire," Jack ordered. "All available weapons." The human warship fired again, its kinetic projectiles tearing through one Krell vessel and damaging another. On a secondary screen, Jack could see the shuttle launching from the rear bay, quickly accelerating away from the battle. "Mike's away," Tom reported. "The Krell don't seem to have noticed yet." "Keep firing," Jack commanded. "Make sure they stay focused on us." The battle intensified as more Krell ships arrived. The Invincible was now surrounded, taking fire from multiple directions. Systems began to fail across the ship as damage mounted. "We can't keep this up much longer," Tom mourned, as sparks flew from a nearby console. "Gravitational disruptor ready," Thunder announced. "Target the largest concentration of ships," Jack ordered. The disruptor fired again, creating a wave of distorted space that caught 3 Krell ships. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The alien vessels crashed into each other, their precise formation disrupted by the gravitational anomaly. Jack allowed himself a small smile. Their fancy flying doesn't help much when space itself is twisted. But the victory was short-lived. A massive explosion rocked the Invincible as a Krell energy beam found a weak point in the armor. "Engine 2 is down," Thunder reported. "Weapons capacity reduced to 25%. Hull integrity failing in multiple sections." "What about Mike?" Anna asked, looking at the tactical display. "Did he get through?" They could see the shuttle on the display, racing toward the edge of the system. Several Krell ships had broken off from the main battle and were pursuing. "He's not going to make it," Tom said quietly. Jack stared at the display, his mind racing. Then he turned to Thunder. "Is there anything else? Any weapon or system we haven't tried?" Thunder's sphere pulsed slowly. "There is one option. It was never tested in actual combat." "What is it?" The Invincible was equipped with a prototype space-time displacement drive. In theory, it could create a localized disruption in the fabric of reality. In simple terms, Jack asked, "We could create a temporary hole in space. Anything caught in it would be removed." "Removed to where?" "Unknown." The technology was considered too unpredictable for regular use. Jack looked at the tactical display again. The shuttle was still running, but the Krell ships were gaining. Meanwhile, the Invincible was taking heavy damage. Could we use this displacement drive to help Mike escape? Thunder calculated. Possibly. If we created a disruption between the shuttle and its pursuers, it might delay them long enough. Do it, Jack ordered without hesitation. There is a risk, Thunder warned. The drive requires enormous power. In our damaged state, activating it could overload our remaining systems. Jack nodded grimly. Understood. Do it anyway. As Thunder began the activation sequence, the ship's lights dimmed. Power was being diverted from all remaining systems to the experimental drive. Krell vessels continuing to fire, Anna reported. Shields failing. Hold on, Jack said to his remaining crew. This might get rough. The Invincible shuddered as the displacement drive powered up. On the view screen, they could see a strange distortion forming in space, like a ripple in a pond, expanding outward from their position. Drive activated, Thunder announced, creating space-time disruption. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The ripple expanded rapidly, engulfing several Krell ships. Where they had been, there was suddenly nothing. Just empty space. Did we destroy them? Tom asked in awe. No, Thunder replied. Merely displaced them. They will return eventually, but not soon enough to catch the shuttle. On the tactical display, they could see that the remaining Krell ships had stopped their pursuit, clearly stunned by what had happened to their comrades. Mike's clear, Anna confirmed. He's reaching the edge of the system. A cheer went up on the bridge, quickly silenced by a series of explosions. Warning lights flashed across all consoles. Alarms blared throughout the Invincible as its damaged reactors pushed toward critical failure. On the bridge, Captain Jack watched the approaching Krell ships with grim determination. They had managed to send Mike away with a warning for Nuterra, but their own situation was hopeless. 8 minutes to reactor breach, Thunder announced, the AI's blue sphere pulsing weakly now as power fluctuations rippled through the ship. What weapons do we have left? Jack asked, not ready to give up yet. Main guns at 15% capacity. Point defense systems offline. Gravitational disruptor damaged but functional for perhaps one more use. Tom looked up from the engineering console, his face streaked with sweat and grime. The reactors are going to blow no matter what we do now. The displacement drive damaged them beyond repair. Anna's eyes remained fixed on the tactical display. The Krell are being more cautious this time. They're keeping their distance. They're afraid, Jack realized. After what happened to their friends, they're not eager to get too close. Thunder's sphere brightened slightly. Fear is a useful weapon. Jack studied the tactical display, an idea forming. The reactors are going to explode anyway. What if we make sure they explode at exactly the right moment? What do you mean? Anna asked. I mean we turn this ship into the biggest bomb humans have ever built. Jack turned to Tom. Can you rig the reactors to detonate on command? Tom thought for a moment. Yes, but why would we want to control it? We're already in countdown to detonation. Because, Jack explained, pointing at the tactical display, we need to be in the perfect position first. Understanding dawned on Anna's face. The jump point to Nuterra. If we can destroy it or damage it somehow, we can block the Krell invasion path. Jack finished. Thunder, can the reactors of this ship, combined with the displacement drive and whatever other weapons we have left, damage a jump point? The AI calculated for several seconds. A jump point is a stable wormhole. Normally, they cannot be damaged. However, the combination of an antimatter reactor explosion and the space-time displacement field could potentially destabilize it for a significant period. How significant? Jack pressed. Weeks, perhaps months, long enough for Nuterra to prepare defenses. It was all they needed to hear. Jack straightened, his face set with resolve. Set course for the jump point. Maximum speed. The Krell will pursue, Anna warned. I'm counting on it, Jack replied. The ancient engines of the Invincible roared to life one final time, pushing the damaged warship toward the jump point that led to New Terra. Behind them, the Krell fleet followed cautiously, maintaining their distance, but clearly unwilling to let the human vessel escape. 5 minutes to reactor breach, Thunder updated. We will reach the jump point in 4 minutes, 40 seconds. Cutting it close, Tom muttered. Too close, Jack agreed. He turned to Anna. You should take the other shuttle. There's still time. Anna shook her head firmly. I'm staying. Me too, Tom added. We started this together. Jack looked at his loyal crew, people who had been simple miners just days ago, now prepared to sacrifice everything to save millions of strangers. Thunder, Jack asked quietly, what happens to you when the ship is destroyed? The ice sphere pulsed softly. My primary consciousness is tied to this vessel. However, I have transferred a portion of my memory and tactical data to the shuttle with Mike. A part of me will survive to help New Terra prepare. As they approached the jump point, the Krell ships began to close in, realizing what the humans were planning. Energy beams lanced out, striking the already damaged hull of the Invincible. They're trying to stop us, Anna reported. Too late, Jack said with grim satisfaction. Thunder, prepare the gravitational disruptor for one final use. Target the jump point as we approach. Ready, the AI confirmed. The jump point was visible now on the main screen, a shimmering distortion in space that led to the New Terra system. Around it, the Krell ships were gathering, forming a blockade. They figured out our plan, Tom said. Doesn't matter, Jack replied. They can't stop what's coming. 3 minutes to reactor breach, Thunder announced. Jump point in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Jack addressed his crew one last time. It's been an honor serving with you both. We may have been miners, not soldiers, but today we've made a difference. A massive explosion rocked the ship as a concentrated barrage from the Krell fleet found a critical system. Engine 3 is gone, Thunder reported. Speed decreasing. Will we reach the jump point? Jack demanded. Yes, but with only 40 seconds to spare before reactor breach. It would have to be enough. The Invincible pushed forward, its remaining engines straining, as the Krell ships intensified their attack. Systems failed across the ship, but its ancient frame held together for one final mission. 1 minute to jump point, Anna called out. The Krell commander seemed to realize the humans' intentions too late. The alien fleet began to scatter, some vessels accelerating to intercept, while others pulled back to a safer distance. Gravitational disruptor ready, Thunder announced. Targeting jump point. Wait for my command, Jack ordered. We need perfect timing. The Invincible closed on the jump point, trailing debris and venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches. The bridge was now running on emergency power, with only essential systems functioning. 30 seconds to jump point, Anna reported. Reactor breach in 90 seconds, Tom added. Jack watched the tactical display, waiting for the perfect moment. The Krell ships were in disarray now, some fleeing while others made desperate attempts to stop the human warship. Now, Thunder, Jack commanded. Fire the disruptor. The gravitational weapon activated one final time, sending a wave of distorted space-time ahead of the ship. It struck the jump point, causing the shimmering portal to waver and pulse erratically. Jump point destabilizing, Thunder confirmed. Effect minimal but growing. Not enough, Jack muttered. We need to get closer. The Invincible surged forward with its last reserves of power, aiming directly for the center of the jump point. Krell ships fired desperately, trying to destroy the human vessel before it could reach its target. Reactor breach in 30 seconds, Tom reported, his voice steady despite everything. Everyone hold on, Jack ordered, gripping the command chair as the ship shuddered around them. The Invincible reached the jump point, its massive frame passing partially into the distorted space as the reactors reached critical levels. Goodbye, Mike, Anna whispered, knowing her friend would reach safety with their warning. It has been an honor, Thunder said, his sphere glowing brightly one last time. Humanity will remember the invincible again. The reactors breach, releasing their antimatter containment. The resulting explosion, combined with the already destabilized jump point and the residual effects of the displacement drive, created something no human had ever witnessed before. Space itself tore open, then collapsed, taking the ancient warship, its brave crew, and a good portion of the Krell fleet with it. Where the jump point had been, there was now only a swirling maelstrom of distorted space that would remain impassable for months.